Hello everyone, I think I've gone live there now. Yeah, I've made a couple of videos this week, not the last couple of weeks, but I've never put them up. I thought maybe I had, I don't know, maybe got a little too carried away with it, so thought I wouldn't put it up. The couple of things that I wanted to, I've told people that I'm going live, so hopefully that they'll come on and ask some questions if they want to. I don't know if it comes up on there. I have no idea. This has actually come up differently than what it's done before. So I don't know. Just have to see if it works or not. I've just been answering a lot of questions and everything on email and everything for people, all to do with doing the paperwork and doing the forms and everything like that. I think everyone can hear me. I should have. I think I must be over. Yeah, I can see it now. It's working on the microphone. But there's a couple of things really that I wanted to cover that I had made notes on, and now I've totally lost. But a lot of it was about what we're going through right now, and how it all relates, because there's no such thing as a coincidence. Nothing ever. Everything's tied together. Every single thing is tied together, and everything that's happening and everything that is going on, and change that a little bit, now is to do with, let's just call it a straw man, the legal fiction, or whatever it is that you want to say. But it's you being controlled by the government, or it's not even them, because they're not in charge of diddly squat. But the how far this goes back is just like to the very beginning. There isn't a beginning and an end to it. Hopefully there will be an end to it, but there isn't sort of like, or this just happened in like 1913 or whatever date it was, but there is some specific points that you should make a note of. I got some wind-up comments like a few weeks ago for having that. Like people have got nothing better to do, eh? Crazy. But when we look back at sort of like the beginning, right, of let's just say like going back to the USA, right? Everything that had happened in Europe and it happened in like the United Kingdom, if you want to say that, and France and everything like that. I'm saying France because I want to talk specifically about that. For a long time, well before like they had established all of this in the United States, it didn't really get going in the United States until the 30s. 1933, I think, is when it was officially made bankrupt by the central banks. Now, I'm not on about like how they like changed the constitution and swapped it to a corporation, a couple of years after they had done the original constitution. But when they had like officially done the bankruptcy was like in 33, I think it was 31 or 33. I do think it was 33 with Wilson Woodrow. And then that's when they had actually took away like the gold completely, from the dollar. Now, if you look back at the dollar, it's like that big S with two lines down it. And then when they took the gold away from it, now it's only got one line down it. Have a look at that. Check that out. But this is all to do with what's going on now. Because obviously before this, before saying like the 1800s, they still used gold and silver for nearly everything. And this is what this is all about, believe it or not. Everything that you're going through now, all of this thing and everything like that, it's all about control. It's all about like how to actually let's see if I can actually oh no, I've got people there now. Okay, all right, so I couldn't see it before. From Sweden and from Toronto. Brilliant. Oh, that's fantastic. California. Well, there you go. Canada. Wow. All right. So I don't know why I couldn't see that before. Okay, so I'll just say hi to everyone on here then. Hi everyone. There you go. Excellent. But we're talking about like how sorry, like let's call it modern times of there, even though we're talking about like, you know, like what maybe medieval times, like talking about like the popes, like going back, which is like Yorkshire, not as far as Canada, them telling us that they owned our souls, right? Which is like souls is not in you, right? It is you. It's the spirit. It's the essence of everything, isn't it? You know. And they actually, like Boniface, it was. I think it was the first one, right? When they did the Unum Sanctum, and basically they said that the Vatican owned everything in the world, and you couldn't even get into heaven unless you did it through him. Which is what he did with the conquistadors when they went out and they tortured like millions and millions and millions of people to death. The you know, unless they would convert to their version of the church or Catholicism or the Christianity, but it was you know, the Roman Catholic or the Roman sort of like church. It was all Roman. You know, from America as well. Brilliant. Excellent. Good to see you all on here. Tommy, how you doing? What is that? How have you used all this in your own life and to what benefits and problems? I'm talking about how to actually like be free, how to be sovereign. Now, a lot of what I'm going to talk about tonight is being sovereign. I want to talk about like how few coincidences fly and everything like that. There it is. Well, excellent. But yeah, I use it all the time. You know, at the end of the day, I mean, you know, there's problems. There isn't any problems. You know, unless you want to create a problem. You know, people always ask me the question: can I go in speed? No, you can't go in speed. You know, why would you want to go in speed? You know, I'm passing like a little school today, and there's like loads of little kids there. You know, and it says do 20 miles an hour, and I'm probably doing 10. Because I know kids are just excitable. They're going to run out. They're not going to think there's a car or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's like it's not about that, right? You're talking about being like sovereign. We're talking about being sovereign. Now you're born sovereign. You are sovereign. There's nobody can say that you're not. And it's like one of the annoying things for me is like the governments, the UK government that I'm talking about here, and you know, the more and more and more trying to say that Parliament is sovereign. Parliament, and Parliament is not sovereign. Now this goes back to you know, forever, but like talking about the Magna Carta. I'm not going about the Magna Carta. I'm not going about like Article 61, which is a complete waste of time. Forget it. Don't ever do it. Don't ever try to think about it. Don't even look at it. Don't find out about it. Don't research about it. Leave it alone completely. You know, but the Magna Carta is just called the Great Charter, right? That is how they created the Constitution of the United States of America from the Magna Carta, and how it went across to Canada, New Zealand, and the rest. You know, based on the Magna Carta, because it's the rights and the Bill of Rights, which I'm not a fan of, because once you accept the Bill of Rights, it ties you into the whole thing, and the whole thing is tying you into their rules on the Bill of Rights. So, you know, but right, the Magna Carta, and it's like people are going to argue all day about it, and I've got no interest in arguing about it or anything there. But what it basically states is the fact of like that the people are sovereign, and a sovereign, as in a king or a queen, were only there as caretakers of everything. They weren't there to like run everything and rule everything. At the end of the day, right, this comes to democracy. Okay, and democracy, take it back, right back to ancient Greek times, right? And this is what the channel is called, Return to Democracy, because common law is democracy. Democracy is common law. The two aren't apart, they're completely joined together. Now, the ancient Greeks, now they ran a democracy, a real democracy, where common law was the law, still is the law of the land, and it's called legum terrae, the law of the land. And if there was something that was being done by a government, because they would elect a government, right? They would elect a government, but not like we do it. This is not a democracy. What we have got is not a democracy. Okay, it's not. I'll explain why in a second. But they would actually put a government in to rule them, and then they would judge them people. And if them people weren't doing a good job, they would immediately get rid of them. They wouldn't wait 4 years or whatever. They could do a court de jure, a jury of 12 people, 12 peers, and the 12 peers would vote if that person or that government or that law that they had put in, we would call it a statute if it came from government, but let's just call it a law for argument's sake, was good and or bad, and they would get rid of it. If it wasn't good, that is a democracy, and it still exists today, and common law still exists today, no matter what any clown in a costume is going to tell you, right? Be a yellow costume, or they'll stick their thumbs in thinking they're some kind of fucking bandit from a bad spaghetti western, you know, but or a judge all dressed in black because he's representing the dead. But you know, what would happen is, like, you know, going back to that democracy, real democracy, where they would vote in and vote out immediately anything that was wrong, and anything that was good they would keep. That is a democracy. What we have now is a suffrage. A suffrage. Have you heard of the term suffragettes? You know, like Emily Parker or Parkhurst? Maybe Parkhurst. She came from up here, where I live. And she jumped in front of the king's horse and killed herself so that they could get the women to vote. And they called them suffragettes. They didn't call them democratettes. I want to think of a word for that, right? Because it's suffrage that we have. We vote these clowns in, and they are clowns, right? You vote them in. We've got the logo in here. I'm not going to say anything on here because you get kicked off your channel. But I tell you, right, now, once they get voted in, then they just ignore you completely, all right? They don't say anything or ask anything, any questions. So, like, now, let's just take it now. So you got Doris. He's sitting there, great big fat bastard, right? Hideous pig of an adulterer. I shouldn't say pig because pigs are lovely, right? An adulterer there, you're like a liar and a scumbag that you've put in to be in charge of the whole government, right? But they're all the same, right? And whatever he says, these people have to do, or he throws them out of a job, and that's a fact. So they call it the whip. So they whip. They probably do whip them. Probably whip them anyway, no matter what. They're a bunch of perverts. But anyway, so you know, and they just like going to vote in the next thing. But we're only talking about acts of parliament here. This is not a democracy. All right. On the democracy, democratia. When we're talking about like the ancient Greek version of it, when you would have the court de jure, the 10, 12 people that you would have of your peers, right? So that it would be like normal people voted in. They were the judges as well as the jury. The jury were the judges. There would be a convener who would look after the whole thing, all right? Now, you can still demand this. I'm talking about the United Kingdom. Actually, I'm talking about everywhere. You can still demand this, but you can still demand it in the United Kingdom. when they come up with you with all this BS and BS, can't swear and everything like that, and then say BS, this bullshit, right? That saying you can't do this, you can't do that. Look, right? At the end of the day, you are entitled to a court de jure, which is, or court de jury. Some people call it like that, G-U-R-E, but a jury, G-U-R-Y, is the 12 people of your peers. And right, I'm going to take it back to I had wrote a book about it, but then I didn't actually publish it, so I'm going to leave that for now. And it was talking about like the case of Penn, who founded Pennsylvania, United States, and him and his mate, and they got done for saying prayers on the wrong time or something like that. I've got the right name for it. Preaching, right, to a crowd, and they shouldn't have been doing it. It was the wrong place to do it. So they were getting prosecuted, okay? So they pleaded not guilty, right? But they told everyone they did it. But they were saying, we're pleading not guilty under common law, court de jure. As in, this is an unfair, unjust law, should not be here. So we want the jury, the court de jure, to deliberate and express on that law. So what they did, they found them not guilty, and then they locked the jury up. Locked them up for a few days, no food, no water, nothing, until they were going to change their mind. And they refused to change their mind. This is when people were people, and like, you know what I mean? Not like now, we're all running around like this, let me fly, let me go on holiday, let me take a selfie, well, I'm going to take a fucking injection. These are real people when they would say stick with the morals and what was correct in life, and they would say, well, it should be squash this law, okay? So they actually said they're not guilty, and what happened is they had to kick that law out of the statute book. All right, so then you could actually preach and everything at any place, at any way you wanted. So anyway, that is what common law is. That is what court de jure is. That is what democracy is. Real democracy, not what we've got now. Now I'm going to tell you something about the lutein bell. Okay, has anyone ever heard of the lutein bell? I'm going to read a couple of questions, see if there's anything needs properly answering. No, it's Keegan's shaking. No, Beauty's shaking her ears. Paying taxes and such like. What's that say? Claim fees to be. What? Claim fees to be paid from your fiction trust if possible. Well, have you been doing or following the A for V process? The A for V process is getting paid from your trust. We've had a lot of successes lately. We've had people getting clearing off the debts of $8,000, £9,000 very recently. A lot of little ones. Okay, that is the way that we're accessing the trusts. That is how we're taking the funds out of the trusts. Don't think that you're going to go around and ask Doris for £1 million, because it ain't going to happen. All right, now. When you discover things, and you can find the trusts, not the trusts, what do they call them? The bonds. And the bonds have been traded hundreds and thousands of times, and have been worth thousands, and has created millions. But that's put into the Seta KV trust, and then the Seta KV trust, they dip into it and they take it away. But it's not so, you can't just go and take that now. I mean, to get what they call remedy, and this is so far down the line. That it's like difficult to explain to you, but I tell you what it is. If you're worried about paying the council tax, then you are not prepared to go to Chancery Court and ask for remedy. Okay, but the case with if it's income tax, then you try now and find me a law that states you, by law, have to pay council tax. Not council tax, actually council tax, but income tax as well. Income tax mainly. Find it and show me it, bring it in. Okay? Yeah. All right, Tommy? So find that tells you that you need, by law, to pay income tax. All right. We'll take it from there. So paying taxes, claim fees, your frictional trust. Right, we answered that one anyway, really. Yeah, keep going. A bailiff who has just taken on. This is funny. Right, I've just dealt with this. Literally, I've done a notice of somebody. I can't tell you names and stuff like that, and it's like a big thing, right? But I want to read this out. Like, well, you probably hear it. Help with a bailiff who has just taken on my credit card debt. All right. Now, brain injury, that's really bad. It was sort of myself. If someone's taken something on, right? Debt collection agency, bailiffs, and all these people, these filth, these scumbags that are the bottom feeders in life, right? They have no standing in law. They have no right. They have no contract. All you have to do is just send them a proof of claim. A proof of claim, right? Now, there's different ways of naming that, but all you got to do is they call it a DSAR, which is like a data subject access request, which means that you want them to provide the details of what they've done with your data, which proves fraud because they've sold it on, and they're not allowed to do that, and they can't admit or anything like that. Right, there's a notice and it's in the website. I'm 100% sure it's in the website. I'm pretty sure it's in the group. If it's a bailiff and they've taken on, that means they've bought something. These debt collecting agencies, they buy the debt, which means it's already paid for then, isn't it? What happens is, if you've got a scumbag debt company, a bank or whatever it is, and then they decide they want to sell your debt on, and they do it all the time. They sell the debt on because they can't be bothered to deal with anyone. Then it's finished. They write it off to tax, which they never lent you any money anyway, right? And then these people go and they put it on an eBay site, literally. It's not eBay, but it's an easiest way to explain it because you know what eBay is. And these people come and buy the debt, and then they start sending you letters, hassling you, hoping to scare enough people to like pay them. You haven't got a contract. You need a wet signed contract, wet ink signature. You, them, and a witness. We're going to do that. 3 signatures. That creates a contract. Without full disclosure of everything unknowledgeable, and they've brought something to the table in exchange for a contract, there has to be an interest in a contract, then there isn't a contract. And it doesn't exist. So some scumbag debt collector who's bought this stupid debt, which without probably for a £5 for a 10 grand debt, right? They have no standing in the law. They are filth. They are bottom feeders in life, right? Just send them the DSAR and say, tell me where the contract is, and then do a commercial lien on them. Start a commercial. Go on there and have a look at all the process that I've got laid out, where it not only stops them straight away, but then you start pushing them, and then you're going to claim against them and get money from them. Then you send the bailiffs to them, right, for the harassment, all right, and the grief and the time that you've spent on dealing with all this bullshit from them. Come on, right? They have got no right to even breathe, never mind talk to you. Filth like that. Oh, right, let's go back anyway. It's getting carried away there. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, all right, I've got to show that one. I'm talking about that. I'm not. Right, I'll show that one. Anyway, I've just answered that about the bailiff onto there. And they're saying something about the tax. They're answering someone else. That's good. Go on, keep answering for me. That's brilliant. Frank, how you doing, Frank? Gobi Desert. I like that. I like that name. From Anna Von Reitz. You know me. You know. I'm sure you know. Oh yeah, I know her. Yeah, or you know of her anyway. It gets accepted and registered straight away, Petri. And they would send you it back straight away. You get a notification, I should say, straight away. And they give you your filing number straight away as well. You get it immediately. Now, if you didn't notice it or something happened and you lost it or something, either use your name and go on the site and search for it, and it'll come up with the details, or use your filing number. But if you didn't notice that, right, but you can still do it with your name and it'll come back. You know, not many people are going to have that name. So you should be easy to find it, you know. I'm not going to answer a question about benefits because, you know, this is about becoming sovereign. And when you become sovereign, and if you read my documentation that I've given to people that they can send off, the legal notice and demand is the main one. There is backup ones, and I'm trying to make it all into one. I actually tried to do it for somebody last week, and I messed it up. So I've had to, like, you know, like, as I was trying to join it together. But listen, what you have to do, I'm going to show you two versions of this, which is why I was talking about like the popes before, because about the set of KV trust, right? If you want to be on benefits, then go on benefits. You know, do what you like. It's I'm not bothered about like that, but like, don't, you know, at the end of the day, someone asked a question in the group, and it was nothing to do with the guy who asked it. He was great, and he accepted it. He sees what's going on. But if you want to be in their world, then you're in their world. If you want to be alive and you want to handle your own affairs, then you have to handle your own affairs. If you want to be in their world, you want to be a person, you want to be a fiction, then go in that world. Either way is not my concern. You know, you want to do that, do it. Same thing. You want to do this, then do it. Same thing. Not my concern. I will never argue. I won't even debate. You know, I have no interest. I have what I have. I am completely surrounded by love and light and protection from many sources. Completely surrounded by protection. So there's nothing can ever bother me about anything. But like, as far as like, I'm not even gonna go down routes of like, you know, can I have this if I want to be sovereign? Then, you know, pick a side, you know, pick a side. Do you want to be this or do you want to be that? Because I tell you what it is, right? You can't be anything. So I would never watch football now. Everything that they've done and ruined everything now. But when I was a kid and when I was growing up, everything to do was with football and Newcastle United, and everything I ever did was Newcastle United. I travelled all over the country. Yeah, I don't know, it's crazy. 13, 14-year-old, and I was going down to London. 13, 14-year-old on my own, staying there the whole weekend for watching football. Who on earth would like let their 13, 14-year-old child go down to London on their own for a weekend? On their own, you know. Not a single adult in charge of anything, just they gone watching football. But you know, you wouldn't do that now, would you? But anyway, let me have a look. What am I looking at then? Not. Where to start? Well, what you need to do to start, handsome 364, I think that says, is do the LDN, legal notice and demand. But also get to know who you are, right? You need to be sovereign inside here, right? You don't need to do any of these forms to actually accept and be what we are. We are sovereign. We are. And like, nobody can tell you what to do. We're all equal under law and we're all equal under God. God didn't create sort of like Doris and Watercock to be better than someone else. Man was given the dominion of earth. Man was given the dominion of earth. It's in the Bible. It's there written. Now, they bastardized and changed the Bible, but they couldn't change all of it, and it's still there. And we are like in charge, dominion. We have the dominion of earth. So nobody can be in charge of you. Nobody can tell you what to do. You can only accept someone telling you what to do. So the more that you acquiesce, the more you give them tacit consent, then the more that they are going to take. Look what they've taken now, and look what they're going to be taking in the future, and look what they're going to try and force these people to do. That take this compelled benefit. It's like, you know, if you're sovereign, it doesn't matter. You know, it's like they can't tell you what to do. They can't run your life. But to start, get it inside you about what you are. And then once you are, you know that you can stand there and explain to a clown in a costume that you are not under statutory legislation because you are alive. You are a living, flesh and blood, breathing man or woman. Then you can fill in a legal notice and demand and give it to Doris and Watercock. Not him. It's not even that important. You know, right the way down to Dick. That's Dame Cressida Dick, Commissioner of Police. And you give it to all of them, and you give them the supporting documents. That is without even doing the UCC, because you've got two sets. You've got the international side, which is, I still stand by it. I mean, lots of people ridicule it or argue against it. It depends on how you want to use it, but it is a statement. It's a statement of fact. Now, in what we're actually doing is we're stating that we have separated from this fiction that they created, and that's what that does. Does it on an international basis as well. Whoa, got loads more. I didn't know they were all the way down there. Oh, right, let's have a look. Oh my good God. Right, okay, let's go back to where right, I was up there. Documents, I did that one. No government act. Okay, inhabitants. I should put my glasses on, you know, at least it's tiny. I can't read half of that. You know. I'm filthy as well. Can't see what it says. The Local Government Act of 1888, Section 79, subsection 2. The councils are to pay all liabilities for the inhabitants of the counties. Yeah, that would be true. And also in 1882, the Bills of Exchange Act, it tells you point blank, right, that we are entitled to all of the natural assets of the country that you are resident in or living in or anything, which is gas, electricity, water. Water comes from the fucking sky, for fuck's sake, right? And they're making you pay for it. Come on, right? Look, they actually state in there that we're entitled to it. So why are you paying your gas and water bills and stuff like that? I don't pay, right? Right? So like the other, I was watching, you know, and I don't mean this in a bad way. You see everyone down there and I'm marching through London and everything, and I was like, oh, I don't know, loads and loads and loads of them anyway. And I'm trying to get rid of that. What then people should do, right, is as soon as they actually go home, to make sure that they cancel everything as well, everyone at the same time. This would be a statement. This would be like, you know, a statement, right? Not only have we marched, right, we're not going to be paying any more bloody TV license or bills for this and bills for that, crap for this and crap for that, right? That is going to hurt them. They've got more money. They own everything, but I don't mean it hurt. It's going to crush them inside, right? If you tell them, like, I'm not paying you, that's going to hurt them. It's not money. You know what I mean? They're trying to kill everyone, like in this massive population or depopulation and all that bullshit. Right? It's just to be in control and in charge and everything. I am the boss of the world. Yeah, look at me. That's all it is, right? Right? It's not about like the financial side, and use the fact that money does not exist. Money is fake, right? It's got written on, I'm not going to go and get it now. It's got written on there, I promise to pay the bearer off, on all your notes, on all it doesn't matter, dollars, pounds, right? Rupees, whatever it is. They're not real. They were created by the central bank to control you in slavery. It is not money, silver and gold and sweat equity. That is value. Value. Gold, silver, sweat equity. The things you've got there, these bits of paper or the plastic cards that they use that represent the bits of paper, are worthless, all right? And the more you rely on them, I know we'll have to spend money. I know we'll have to go and buy it, but we've got to be having it in the back of our brain. How are we going to move away from it? And how are we going to free ourselves bit by bit from this? You're keeping up with the Joneses and like looking better. And I want my car to be better than his car. And I want to be the same car as him. I want to be, like, I'm going to pout my lips up, pat my arse up like that and take a photograph looking well and look like I broke both my legs. You know, like, I don't know what they do these selfies for. But like, this is all controlled by them to control us as slaves through this money system. And it's not money, it's debt. And debt is fiction. The money is fiction. It's not real. There's not value, right? There's nothing to it. It's not tied to gold. It's not tied to silver. You can't go in and actually literally buy anything with this crap. That's why I invest in silver. I'm not telling anyone where to go or anything. I'm not like that, you know, but I do it. So if you want to do it, you do it, right? I like the coins. I like buying the coins. So you will find somewhere to do it and buy some coins. Because if it does do what it's supposed to do, if this starts to fall to pieces, then it's going to fly up like that. And then this is going to be worth something. It's going to help us in the long run. And if it doesn't do that, and if they do get rid of money and they do a food shortage and they do all the bad things that they're talking about, then the only thing that's going to be worth value anyway is also going to be the silver, because the pound notes, and you got them shoved under your mattress or something like that, dollars and everything hidden in your cupboard, it's not going to buy you a loaf of bread. And then you're really going to be relying on silver and gold. Right, let's go on to a couple more questions before we get carried away. Can you go around unsecured loans? Oh, man, I wear my glasses. The way as well to write them off. Can I pronounce debt collector before? You're right, they buy the debt. From see, there's a debt collector and he's been on here and then he's just telling us there, yeah, that's what they do. They go and buy the debt, you know, they buy it and then they send the debt collectors off, right? They've got no what do you call it? Legal title or entity or actually right to ask you for the money. This one that I've just done, I wrote the notice. I wrote a nasty notice, good notice. Hang on, let the dog wants to drink. Maybe the way you look like. I think Janine's gonna come take her for a wee. She might want to wait. But it was a lot of money, and the great thing was from the solicitors. And we are bailiffs, we are solicitors. But at the bottom, they wrote down in tiny little writing, "We are not a legal company." Strange. And at the top, they wrote on, "We buy debt from insolvent companies. We buy debt." I was like, highlighted that. I thought, that's what I want to see. So I've wrote a great notice. Like, they've got no right to ask for diddly squat, you know. Gotta take it away. Show me the contract. Show me the wet ink signed contract. 3 signatures I want on there. All right, yours, mine, and a witness to say that I owe you any kind of money for your sweat equity, and I will pay you. I'll gladly pay you. Right? Conditional acceptance. Debt is fiction, and if you know how to write to them about their lies and their fiction, you got no problem. Is it good or bad to have a what's that say? Common law autograph. If it's an autograph, a common law autograph should be all lowercase. PETR. If you want to put the colons on either side, put the colons on either side. But like, you don't need a copyright on there. What you want to stop doing is people writing your name. Now, you don't want, again, it's like getting gray area of, like, you know, some people say you should, some people say you shouldn't, but your capitalized name still remains Crown copyright property because you didn't create it. Who creates it owns it. So it gets into a gray area of argumentation, but they don't own your high lowercase number. But like the autograph, don't Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't panic about it. It means nothing. Don't worry about it at all. Okay. What's your website link? I'll put it in the description so you can check it out later. I can't remember what it is now. Right. Okay. Well, you see, I mean, you should like stick with what you're doing. Like, you know, keep it the better. I'm not telling anyone what to do. I never tell anyone what to do. If you want to do that, do that. If you want to do something different, do something different. Listen, like, if you're in a position where the only thing that you can do, or you can think you can physically do, is be on benefits, then stay on that track. Stay on that course. Don't piss off the bee's nest. You don't poke them with sticks until you feel like you're more confident or more knowledgeable or anything. I'm not telling anyone what to do. You do what you need to do and stick with that line. All right. And then fingers crossed, hopefully for you, or pray for you, that things will improve and you get away from that line that you have to drive on. You know, and then, you know, then things hopefully will improve. I don't know what that means. God, you know what I mean? Keep forgetting. What's that say? Which is higher, and where do we get a remedy? Common law or trust equity law? They're all the same. Everything. I don't own anything. I own nothing. You try and tie me to any single possession at all. Not even the clothes that I've got on. Everything that I have, and that I don't have anything, is all in a trust. Trusts are our friends. Trusts are brilliant. Use trusts to everything. Don't own anything. Learn from these scumbags we're fighting. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. The Rockefellers, they said, own nothing, control everything. So everything goes in a trust. Boom. All right. Equity is what we need to get to. Okay. It's not the easiest thing in the world to understand. I'm trying to study more on equity law now, but finding understandable courses on trusts as well is not easy. So what I want to do is find out more and then pass it on. You know, and sometimes you can find things, and other times you'll get lost. All right. So that. And it's all run through common law. Common law means it's common through the land, which means it's what that's held through the land. The term common law comes from when the king, I think it was Henry II, and what he done was he stopped everyone having their own laws in the land. So you have the Lord of Northumberland had his own laws because he was the Lord of Northumberland. The Lord of Yorkshire would have his laws because him, you know, they'd make it up on the time. So what they're doing, Henry, I'm sure it's Henry II, he went, I'm going to make it common through the land. So that wherever you are, that is the law. I'm going to make it common. That's where the term comes from. Then he actually had his court, right, which wasn't a court as we think a court. A court is like, you know, where they used to dress up funny and go and talk to him. They would go around the country and do these cases. That's how it got established, and that's what the term means. All right, but that is the law of the land, the real law. So the other things come after it, but it's all tied like a trust. You can have a private trust, which comes in a common law, or you can have like an equitable trust, getting really confusing, or you can register the trust. And what would be the point of that? Because you register birth, you've given away your rights. You register your car, you don't own your car. You register your house at the land registry, you don't own nothing, right? It's down there. They own it, point blank. So like, to do it, equity is supposed to be the highest law, but you know, we need to find that. But it can only work if you use common law. So you've got to understand the whole basis and the balance of it all. It's not like there's 1, 2, and 3. There isn't. They all work together. Trust law works because it runs on common law. The same with equity. Okay. Oh, hang on. Keep forgetting that one, isn't it? All right, okay. Is it okay to use English documents worldwide? I really don't know what that means. I mean, it's like, you know, there's English is the law language, and it is worldwide anyway. You know, yeah, definitely 100%. I would say. What does that say? For many, we want to know. Well, I've just told you about doing A for V, accept for value, okay, which you can use for bills and everything. Or, you know, and you got to, like, if you look at a lot of the videos that's on there, it shows you how to do that. But like everyone, I mean, unless you mean, you know, can I give up sovereignty and like stop working and everything like that? But like, start looking about how you can actually exchange your sweat equity, you know, for other things. Look at what you can do, and then exchange that, you know, so you can like survive financially there. It's cutting ties. It was like, I mean, you're cutting ties with the government. You're not cutting ties with men and women. All right. Then people say, oh, I don't want to leave humanity. Humanity. Hue is a color. Man. So you're talking about, like, I want to be the color of man, as in what we're living under is the color of law, the color of money, not real law, not real money. So if you want to be in humanity, it's not real human. It's fake. It's fiction. It's what they've created and what you want to be existing in. Do something that's worthwhile, and then do it to exchange it for a reward or for your sweat equity. And then you don't need to be worrying about being part of their fiction, you know? So whoops a daisy, that's flew up there. All right. Yeah, that's really bad. Donna Maria, yeah, terrible. You know, I don't know. I'll just click. I'll just say show for what Anna's putting up. Anna Henriquez, whatever it is, it'll show up there. All right, okay. Well, there you go. And you can have a check on more things on there. All right, so you're in Sweden. I mean, if you were sending it to the Swedish government, then I would translate it into Swedish. You know, that's exactly, there you go, Gorby. Well, I wouldn't say have nothing, just own nothing. I don't like the, you know, when what's his name, Schwab, when he goes, you'll have nothing, you'll be happy. Ugh. You know, but like, don't own anything, but control everything. That is the way to do it. You know. But I mean, if you need help, Donna Maria, there's loads of people in here who'll help you, and I certainly will. You know, if you send stuff off, like the email or whatever, you know. But like, people in here will help as well. There's a lot of people getting to know things as well here. Oh, okay. You know, I get asked this regular. Now, how to say it without like upsetting everybody in the whole planet, but you know, I do think that there's positive things are happening, that we're going to be combating and fighting the evil that we are fighting. We're literally fighting now, and things are going to, we are going to win. We're going to win. Good will win. Good will always win. God will always win. I was listening to Rainer Fulmich today, and I follow him, and I believe he's a fantastic person, and he's trying to do really great things, and he's trying to like help us, you know, win this battle. He's a legal genius, and things will change, but I tell you what it is right now. You have to help yourself. You have to look after yourself. Okay, and you have to get up and you have to do the work now, and you have to do these. If it's doing the forms and getting out there and doing, getting out of the fiction and everything like that, I tell you what it is, right? Let's just do a scenario, which is not a scenario that I see happen. Let's just say that there's this great big gold-haired hero flies in out of the sky, and he decides that he's going to help everything and he's going to wipe out everything. And he goes, boom, I'm now here. I'm in charge and I'm part of this, right? And I'm going to give everyone Nasara Jasara, okay? Which is the revaluation and the freedom of all debt and everything like that. Now, let's just say that he did that. Look how big the whole world is, right? Look how big just the United States of America is, and how long it would actually take to try and deal with all of that and all of these different organizations and representations and everything like that. How long it would take for anyone to actually start to see it filter through to them. If it were true, if that would ever happen. Now, there will be things happening. There will be huge positive things happening. There will. There is. And we will win. But is the Strawman going to disappear like overnight? No. Is it going to be here in 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years? In a degree, yes. Is it going to be less? Yes. But are you going to have to cope with it and deal with it and handle it? Yes. You know, is everyone that's got a criminal and a liar and a thief and a rapist and a pedophile just going to literally pack up bags, commit suicide or run away? No. So you're going to be dealing with them for a long time, and you're going to be dealing with this situation for a long time, no matter what. Any magic that can happen, and click fingers, I can't click fingers anymore. Too many, you know. But make sure you help yourself. Make sure that you try and get yourself put in, you know, realize and understand how you can actually be sovereign, so you can explain it to a clown in a costume, right? When they stop you, and you can put them in their place by explaining to them that you are a clown in a costume, that is when you are ready to actually go out and do this properly. Is anyone going to do it for you? I can certainly help you, but I tell you what, there isn't anybody going to come out and create Nasara Jasara and make it all run away. No. You know, it will massive improvements and stuff like that, but don't think anyone's going to go and drop some big bag of gold on your lap and everything's going to be hunky-dory, because no, it's not going to happen. And you know, make sure that you protect yourself and work yourself and get yourself known that you can actually be sovereign. And then that is the Nasara Jasara, sorting everything and doing everything, all the A for V's and everything that I tell you how to do it. That is it anyway. That is it. So you don't need anything else. What did I say? Random drug testing through workplaces. Can you stipulate that UCC will no consent, no contract? You don't need a UCC for that. At the end of the day, show me the contract that they've got that. Show me where you've actually got 3 wet signatures, wet ink signatures on there. They haven't got any jurisdiction. They have not got any jurisdiction at all. Get me the contract. Only got to tell them I want a wet ink contract with you, me, and a witness that we've actually said that I agree to any of this. And that could be anything, you know, you know, whatever it is, it's just completely, it can be stopped if you just say, well, look, it's all contract law, be it UCC or any other one. It all comes down to contract law, which all comes under natural law, which is God's law, right? So then there must be a contract. And if there isn't a contract, it isn't happening. Cool. Portugal is excellent. Anna is in Portugal as well. Should speak to her. Yeah. Oh, and so yeah, there's other people. How do you give translated documents power? I don't know what that means. Like, I mean, it says it says what it says. It doesn't matter if it's in Outer Mongolian or English or, you know. says what it says. It is what it is. We have won. We've won, and you'll see it when it comes through. But the it's not going to. I tell you what, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a bumpy ride, and we're going to be a lot less people when we actually get to the end of it. But that's sort of the same with every war. When we're in a war. We're in a war, and it's a spiritual war as well as this legal and logical war. We are in a huge intelligence test, and are you failing the intelligence test? Are you? Stations up there. That's an intelligence test. Have you done it? Have you passed the test? Have you failed the test? Not their test, the intelligence test. Because that's what it is. And I tell you what, right? They're going to cull the ones that fail, and they are culling them. They are. So anyway, what is this? We're gonna have to go soon. So what's this? Yeah, there will be. So they're all trapped. They have trapped the world, but we are going to break it free, and we are going to get out of it anyway. Drop if you're free to be emailed, then drop it in. That is fine. I don't know what that means. Well, Catriona, make sure that you know 100% exactly who you are, as in like being sovereign. Can you actually get stopped by the police in the car, have the paperwork, and to be able to present it to them and say, well, look, I am a sovereign being. I've been witnessed. Here's the witness. Here's the paperwork. They didn't rebut this paperwork. I sent it after 30 days. They didn't rebut that one. So there is the 100% proof. This is exactly who I am. Here's my ID card because I don't have a driving license because I revoked all my contracts. So if you revoked your contracts and you revoked your signatures, rescinded your signatures, you don't have a passport. You don't have a driving license. You don't have a national insurance number. You are sitting in your private conveyance, which is not a vehicle, it is not a car. You are not driving, you are traveling. You are traveling from A to B in your private conveyance, your private property. It doesn't have to be registered because you're not registered. Your vehicle, or no, they call a vehicle, your conveyance is not registered, right? If you present that and show them it. Now, I have friends that have been stopped and they even arrested them on the spot, but they had to release them straight away. Once, the people who are a little bit higher than them, because you're talking about clowns in costumes. They've got no idea what the law is. They do not know law. They know that tiny little thing. They get sent out in the morning saying, say this, A, B, C, D, right? And then you can come back after 10 hours and we'll pay some fake fiat currency, and then you can go home and pretend everyone that you will serve the public. And I was like fighting crime by trying to create finance for like a bunch of hypocritical thieves. If you can do that, then you can like do the rights to travel. If you can stand there and explain to someone time and time again that you are sovereign and you are alive and that you are there, that is how you can do it. That is what I'm saying, is then do the documents and be in the car and be proud. Okay. Oh well, go on. I'm not saying that. Not everyone's got their own opinion, The QFS, right? Tell me where the QFS comes from and who's running it and when was it put in place, and how is it, like the who said if it's going like that there now, right? The like, listen, the UK was bankrupt in 1815. right? Or between 1799 and 1815. 1799. Google and find out HMS Lutine. Have a look at the Lloyd's Lutine Bell, the insurance, what them two mean, where all the gold disappeared from, right? Where the cabal, we may as well say the name, right, that run Lloyd's Insurance, the biggest insurance in the whole world, owned by the Vatican. Where did the gold go from HMS Lutine? It sank off Holland in this tiny little thing, which is about this deep, and the only thing it could save was the bell. That's the Lutine bell that's hanging up in Lloyd's Insurance in London that they used to ring, bing, 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 when there was a disaster at sea. All right. That happened in 1799. Between 1799 and 1815, that is when the United Kingdom, Great Britain, England, whatever you want to call it, went bankrupt. Not recently, not in the last couple of years, not even in the 30s. Then, the 1930s, then. That is when it was bankrupt by the central banks. Then. Now, between that time, because what happened in 1815? 1815, we had the battle, what's his name, with Wellington and Napoleon, right? Waterloo. And that is when the central banker, right, Rothschild, pretended that we had lost because he had the fastest messengers that ran back with there, and he sold all of his stocks and everything in London. So everyone copied. Oh my God, we've lost. We're going to be speaking French next week. Holy shit, right? And they sold everything. And what happens is all the stock market prices crashed. This is 1815. 1815, Geordie. Okay? Right? So then what he did is he went back in there and he bought everything when it was like literally 1 penny. 1 penny. Well, it wasn't even a penny because a penny was a lot of money then. And then he owned the whole of England. He owned the whole of the government. He owned the whole of it. And that's how he bought out the crown, the English crown. Right? That has been ever since then. The United States didn't go bankrupt until 1933 when Woodrow Wilson was obviously instructed, and it was his handler, I'm trying to think of his name now, and he wrote there when he was talking about the deniability, plausible deniability. I'll get his name later, it's in the top of my head. All right. And that was in 1933 when they got rid of the gold off the dollar. So it was backed by nothing. But the United Kingdom's been like getting beaten up for like hundreds of years before this. We've been in this shit forever. Right. So how does that tie in with the quantum financial system? How does that work? How does that actually slide in with there then? And where's it coming from, and who's running it, and who's actually going to install it in all of the banks and all of the, like, you know, I'm not saying that there isn't one, right? But should explain how we're all going to all of a sudden not worry about like getting ripped off, and like why is it that we're all got like parking tickets that everyone's panicking about, that I keep getting messages and I have to like do all the notices for them. We have to keep fighting, because I tell you what it is, right? And I'll help everyone do it as well. No problem, right? But no one is going to run in behind you and start throwing all this gold in there, or there's not going to be leprechauns sitting there. The quantum financial system is a fallacy. Right, okay, I'll show your email. Go on then. There's your email. So like you can speak to people like that, you know. Well, you know, hey, I'm all for like getting help and everything like that. And if that ever happens, then brilliant, you know. But I tell you what it is, make sure that you can get yourself sovereign and get yourself looked after now, because you cannot. And that's the reason why you don't want to be like tied to a government, because they're just going to keep telling you what to do. So what are you going to do? Replace it with one system with another, and then the other systems are going to tell you what to do? I don't know, one way or the other. check out that Lutine, HMS Lutine, because it's very interesting, you know, how they did that. And all that gold just disappeared, and the only thing they could find was a bell. And it is, isn't it? You can check it. It's the Lutine bell, and they ring it when it was a disaster. And they lost all the gold, but they got the bell. And it's like, it's just off Holland. I'm sure it's called something like there's sandbanks all off Holland. And it wasn't it was called HMS Lutine, right? But it was a foreign ship that the British Navy captured. Can't remember who it was from, and they changed the name to HMS Lutine. And then in the middle of the Napoleonic Wars, they decided to fill it with the biggest pound of gold you've ever seen in history. Who would do that? And send it off into the North Sea, which is, I've sailed all over the North Sea. It's not the easiest one. And it sank in Vlies-Stroom, or something similar to that. Vlies-Stroom, right? And it's sandbanks, and it's shallow, but it's, which would be easy to salvage. I've salvaged stuff at sea. You know, I worked and salvaged, gone on, took boats over, salvaged stuff at sea. Very dangerous job, but this was a shallow water, so it should have been safe and easy. And the only thing they said they could get was the bell. And it's in Lloyd's of London. Check it out, Google it. I'm telling you, it's true. And check those names out: HMS Lutine, Vlies-Stroom, an anagram. Evil's motor, like a motorboat engine. Yeah, but you know, there is nothing in the world that's a coincidence. Doesn't exist. Simply doesn't exist. What we're saying. Yeah. No, June. It's like, you know, no. This you need to make yourself sovereign. I mean, we are sovereign. We are. There's like, you know, but we have to tell them, and we have to declare them, because they're full of it. They are. But with the Commodore Court, can't do anything for you. You can't. You know, and you have to do it on your own, and you have to do it properly. And they won't do anything for you. And what is that? I mean, think of the word, what you've just said. What does it just say? You've registered, regis, the crown, right? Which means that you've actually given it away to someone else. So you're giving your name to someone else. That's what it means. So Common law court, regis means a register. Regis means crown corporation. Regis for the crown. 3 crowns from the Vatican. Boom, boom, boom. 3 crowns. The triple crowns, which was the 3 SETA KV trusts. All right, which I'm going to stop going on now because I'm going on forever. And I think I've covered a couple of points of what I wanted to, but I wasn't going on just to, like, you know, answer a few questions as well. So I'll put it up in the email and Facebook group. But have a look. Yeah, join the group. My group. I can't remember what it's called, whatever it is. But anyway, I'm going to shoot off, and I'm going to do it again. I think maybe not next weekend, because not live anyway. I had a couple of videos that I had said I'd done, and I wiped them off. I didn't put them up, you know, because I didn't want to. I told a little bit too much truth in them, so I stopped it. I didn't put them up, but I'm doing a live webinar, proper webinar, like, which is for members only. And if you're not there, then fair enough, doesn't matter. Do what you like, you know. And but we do go over really specific stuff. So if you ever want to get in, you can. Which is going to be next Saturday, which will be 6 o'clock UK time. Then might get a one during the week if I can do a video. I still want to cover some of this paperwork stuff, which I think has changed as well, which has got to help people, but also a lot of people getting confused over it as well. Okay, so just like a little bit of extra help. All right, but that'll do for now. So I think say good night to everyone. Thank you for all joining. Take care of everyone. Take care of yourself. Be sovereign. Get it so you understand it, so that you can explain it to a clown in a costume if you ever did stop, what it means to be and what you are. All right, without getting argumentative and aggressive. Okay, that's me saying that. I try hard. Okay, not to be aggressive, I mean. All right, so take care of everyone. Be good. Say prayers. All right, and I will see you all later. I don't know how to do it. End stream. See you later.